Today you are watching Barn Finds with Billy Barnes, and today old Billy Barn finds quite the barn find. Now you didn't think I was talking about this slick painted machine behind me, did you? No sir. Sitting right outside, and we got something with some fresh dust sitting right on her. Let's go take a quick gander. In fact, let me show you just where I sniffed her out and found her. Yes sir, it's just a week ago. We turned down this road right here, and I told my TV producers we found one, boys. I locked on like a hound dog who just sniffed him a fresh coon fart. I knew we had us a barn find close. And I didn't need much of a sign, guys. When I seen that missile pointing, I knew it meant in that building right there we were gonna find some good ones. So a little walk up in there, and sure enough, old Billy Barnes sniffer never misses, baby. We found this one. So actually, guys, I'm gonna get ready to show you the car. Obviously, it did come from here. D&H found it. It was right underneath my nose, right here in Tecumseh, where I live. I just want to show y'all where this thing came out of. And old Billy Barnes had some merchandise orders drop off this morning. We appreciate all support there at the puddins.fab.shop. And also, Barn Find Billy may have barn found him some Toyota hubcaps. If you got any Toyota hubcaps you want to sell, you can email me. Now look at this thing, guys. What in the meemaw never drove it and kept good care of it do we got going on here? This thing is an absolute time capsule. So here's the real story on it. Billy Barnes did not find it. Last Sunday I was editing the Mercedes video, and D&H calls me or texts me and says, hey, can I store a car at your place? I know you don't really like to do that, but I'll get it in a few days. Oh yeah, no problem. Anyhow, you know, they drag home some stuff that sometimes looks like that bubble top over there folded in half, you know, so you never know what you're gonna get with those guys. To be honest, D&H, I was expecting y'all to show up with an absolute turd piece of junk. So I'm editing, and I hear the trailer coming down the driveway, cha-ching, cha-ching. And I lift open the shade like that, and I looked, and I seen that going down, and I took my glasses and said, dang, I think I beat him out here to unload it. Just sprinted right by him. There ain't a lot of times you see something like this coming down the driveway, you know what I mean? Kind of nice for us. So check this thing out. I'm not for certain, but a little Google searching leads me to believe this is a 1968 Chrysler New Yorker. Obviously a big old land yacht of a car, and cherry is an understatement, guys. Absolutely amazing. Still got the power streak bias plies with the little white wall, all the caps on it, all the trim is on it. All of the barn dust is still on it. It actually rained last night, so it probably lost a little bit. Check this out. Boom. Check this out. Hold on, that one's locked. Locks still work. Check that out. Guys, this thing is like brand new. Do you notice what's going here though? There ain't no post. It's a 4-door hardtop. Yeah, it don't take long looking inside this thing for these grain seats to just catch your eye and draw you into here. How amazing is this, guys? Still got the wood grain on the dash. New Yorker. Look how orange the radio is. The clock, the speedo, everything up there's impeccable. It's unsurpassable. And it may be a big old land yacht 4-door, but it is undeniable that this right here is a really cool car. Back seat matches, just beautiful as can be. We got Pontiac floor mats in it. Let's see how this door closes. Well, we're going uphill. Like it's brand new. What about this one? Like it's brand new. Just this part right here is vinyl. Now, me being a local Pot County and being born in Shawnee, America, this right here is as cool as can be. Shawnee, the place to be. Last tagged in 89. We are not having a hard time reading this tag. A lot of times we're scrambling, trying to use our magnifying glass. What year was that thing? McGowan? I don't know if that's how you say that. Shawnee. Never heard of that dealership. If I'm being honest, I try to stay away from dealerships, so don't surprise me I don't remember it. Right here we got a really cool little Chrysler New Yorker badge emblem. There's some reflection going. Oh yeah, y'all can see Wheel Hop Wheelman, that orange Lodestar in it. Just imagine if this baby was cleaned. Oh, we got 22 shell. Yep, this is definitely a Pot County car, 100%. Someone did a robbery and just stored their loot on the cowl of this thing. Couple paper clips, about 47 cents. That's all we made out with. Got the old cross hanging out on here. Oh, Meemaw, she used to make these for the kiddos at the Sunday school and hand them out. Oh, right there, 68 Chrysler New Yorker. We got any hidden treasures under the seat? Electric motor? Dang! This thing is uptown as can be. Electric windows. Theo, what do you think of this thing? Let's pop the hood on this big mama. Hear that? She wants to open for us. Look underneath here. Time capsule. Absolute time capsule. There ain't nothing in there you need. Don't look like it's ever been tore into. If I remember correctly, and I may be wrong, I did look up to try to see what motors came in these, and I think it was a 440. It needs every bit of that to move this big old car around. It is just clean as can be underneath here. So no, I do not own this car. It is D&H's, but I said y'all have to let me see how well that thing runs. Let me fire her up for y'all if you do not mind. Now we gotta get this thing inside, and that's gonna be hard doing it by myself. There ain't no way it has a brake pedal, right? Yeah. Oh, actually, she was a little stuck. She's obviously soft. It feels like it's half trying to work, but no, I don't think there's gonna be brakes. You can't be up in this show car, okay? This is museum quality. We don't have much of these around here. We gotta treat it nice. Right there, we're already off to a good start. That car's been sitting since around the 90s, early 90s, we know. And all the tires have air and the brakes ain't locked up. We're off to a good start. Oh man. Buckle our steering wheel where she stays turned. Found our keys when I went to get that, which is pretty cool. And the Torolla usually likes pulling anyhow, so let's see if we got any luck. She's getting tired, guys. Yeah, baby! Come on, come on. Pull her up that hill. Let her know who's boss. There we go, baby. What do you think, Theo? She's doing it. This thing's like Christine. It's just driving itself. Ah. Get back, Theo. Get back. Hey, get back, good boss. Come on, baby. Come on. We got it! We got it! Come on, Theo! We did it! Woo! She's too heavy to moonwalk. Let's just push the lane lock Loretta right up there real quick. First things first, we're gonna get this big old breather off. That's the size of a spare tire for this thing. Hello, sir.
Hey there, what's up?
Come on in. Goodness, right at 18-inch diameter on that big mama. Right here, we still got some literature. This vehicle has Chrysler cleaner air package to reduce exhaust emissions. All right, we're going green, baby. That's got to be what, like Carter style carbureting machine, because that's looks a lot like an Eldy Brock. Let's check the oil on her. Oil is clean as can be. A little darker on that side, I guess. It just smells old. Don't smell dirty. Don't smell like fuel. Just smells like it's been in there for a while. It'd dang sure be sad if it was locked up. Well, I ain't been able to spin her yet. Oh, just popped my back real good. I've not got her to spin yet, but I have hope. The whole transmission is looking kind of, that looks like oil though. It is on the back of our oil pan as well, and on our inspection cover, which is what I was hoping to be able to get to, that we could maybe try to spin on this. Before bolts gets us quick access look, we're gonna try to pry on that somehow. All right, she's already spun just a hair. Just a hair, it just moved again. There we go. There's movement right there. Phew! I just figured I was being a sissy, okay? I didn't want to unleash the guns too early in the morning. Since we know she's spinning and we've got her on the left, why don't we just go ahead and drain the oil out of this thing? Yes, I'm even draining oil. Y'all never see oil changes around here. Even using a proper wrench instead of a Pot County speeder wrench. Just because it's not my car. If it was my car, we'd already be pulling this old anchor of a 440 Mopar to put a clapped out small block Chevy in it. No surprises coming out of the oil. That's good. All of our bushings, like up in there on our drag link, and that stuff looks pretty good. She's a little greasy and oily. They definitely kept them well lubed throughout their 40,000 miles. I forgot to show y'all inside there. This thing is about to hit 41,000 miles. It's 40,000 and some change original miles, which are obviously real deal 40,000 mile car. Super cool. Well, DNH, your front bumper's just as rusty as can be. So if y'all get desperate and need to sell this thing, I give you $1,100 for it. Y'all just call me. As the oil drain's good, let's look this thing over. I, for one, have never seen one of these cars, never really looked it over. Oil filter on the front, but what really caught my eye was the way the sway bar mounts. Check that out. We got these bushings that appear to be welded. This bracket is welded, so if you wanted to release that, you'd have to drill that, which is kind of interesting. Come down through there, it bolts to a bushing that then clamps to this strut that comes up here to the front. Wardski will like that right there. We got a lock nut, but if it happens to get frisky and try to back off, good luck. We got a roll pin to stop it. Check out the Monroe Matics on this thing. Still read the sticker good on them. Our ball joints and all that stuff, like I said, is extremely greased. I'd have a hard time believing they're wore out. Everything looks good on this side. What do we got? Oh, it's a torsion bar car. What in the world? I should have clicked in my head as soon as we seen the little strut rods. So besides that, the other day I noticed underneath this thing on the rear, we got some leaf springs that are every bit of 12 foot long. Y'all see them things? Being a big body late 60s car, I just assumed this car would have coil springs all the way around, and it does not. It had the total opposite. I also assumed it would be a frame, and it is not. It's actually got that whole subframe up in it right there that ties to our body. So yeah, she doesn't even have a frame. I was totally wrong. See, I don't know nothing about these Mopars. Now we're on rust inspection, and as y'all can see, you may have a little surface rust here or there, but there is no rot in any of this. It's just as impressive as can be. Look at that big old muffler. Oh, pinion was leaking a little bit. It does appear. Woo! Check out the paint on them Monroe Matics. Them babies got metal flake in them. Boy, they don't make them like they used to. That thing is sweet. Rot? Any rot? We got any rust? No, sir, we do not. This thing is good. Other than, oh, hey, we do have some rot. This gas tank is what rotted out. Oh, that's like syrup. A reinstallation of the drain plug. Snug it. Wipe it. Let's move to the front. Something just dripped on me. Right on my wrist right there. Oh, wow. All right, we found a leak just from steering that around. We got that dripping on the floor, and you can see where that's running down. The seal out of the front of our gearbox is out, and she is making a mess. Rain, go, not on the wagon. Yeah. Yeah. Goodness. There we go. There we go. That old FL1A was not coming off there without some tooling. I got all kinds of parts for this thing, and I forgot to order zinc. So I ran to the parts house, got us 4 different flavors to choose from. We're gonna go with the old racing ZDDP. She gets the premium filter. We're gonna hit her with the wicks, give her a little lubey down in there. Boop. Wet your seal, folks. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the wrong filter. Is that leaking? We're good. Gulp, 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 gulp. She's a thirsty girl. This thing ain't a girl. This thing's a ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Give her a smack. Sure, the Mopar people are gonna correct everything I do wrong like this. Shouldn't have used that oil, dummy. You should have got X, Y, and Z brand. Obviously, this is a Chevy nincompoop working on a Mopar who shouldn't be. The value of that car just went down $400. I could have left the old stuff in it, couldn't I? With some oil in her. Next, I think we're going to look at getting our battery swapped out here. And this looks like we could have some bad connections, I'm not going to lie. Oh man, where's that starter at? Plumb over there? That's a long stretch for a small lead. I bet that gets warm when we crank on it. Ground's a little brittle. All right, careful here. This relic belongs in a museum. Best I could tell on that battery, 1985 and January of 85. Holy cow, that battery was almost very close to being from 84. Same year as my wife. I've always appreciated older things. Something about an antique just looks good. Don't show my wife this video. We need a battery that's flip-flop to work with this setup. This will work for now. You would not want to drive like that, obviously. Am I the only one curious? We got a battery in this thing. We got a set of keys. Everything looks impeccable. I want to play with some of the switches. Oh, looky there. Open the door and this light came on to illuminate. That one back there is working. We may have a bad connection or a bad bulb in that side. Holy cow. What a wiper. Jeez. All right. Once you find you a station, that baby's just a bumping map. What's that do? Huh. Oh yeah, I see a headlight. Oh, they are working. I see them. You got 3 options. Oh, that's a running light. Check that out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, guys. How cool is this car? Back one's blinking. If I was a bet man, I'd bet the house that the front passenger is also blinking. So I'm not hearing anything out of her blower. Holy ashtray. Oh, we didn't even think to look in here yet. Got some tissues in case Meemaw gets a little weepy after church. And of course, you gotta have some good quality paperwork on a rig this nice. We got a whole pack full. There you go. Did y'all see that? That wasn't working. You just cycled that switch a couple times. She's working now. I really want to try one of these windows, and I'm honestly terrified. I don't know why I'm terrified. That sucker's practically brand new. Get out of here. That's pretty stinking good. It'd be even better if that stuff was cleaned off. That one's trying. Seems to be binding a little bit. Same with that one. What about our electric seat? Don't forget about it. How stinking cool. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Put her up in park. 40,704 miles. I'm gonna bump her and just see if she wants to crank. Oh yeah, it definitely wants to crank. Oh, she's cranking. My next question would be, what's the chances we've just got spark? We'll pull that spark plug wire. I'm not sure which one's number one on these. And I'm gonna put that down in there and then set it right there. Y'all watch, I'll crank. I watched back the footage on the play and I did not see any spark. 9 out of 10 times on these old ones, if you ain't getting spark, it's probably your points. We're gonna see if we got voltage going to our coil. And right there with the key on, 11.5 volts. We're good on our voltage. So let's pop the cap off this thing, work our way down to them points. Clip on the back side, clip on the front side. There you go. Everything's pretty clean in there, like extremely clean. Pop a rotor and let's give her the Mortski flick. Oh yeah, okay, we're getting some sparkage. That's a good thing. All right, let me go crank on her now. In between our points there, we should see some sparking. I did not see any spark again, so we're gonna try cleaning on these points too. We're gonna do a little sanding with the old beauty board. Oh yeah, that sucker's dirty. You see it right there already. Now, having a set of eyeballs is killing me. I just cranked that in complete darkness, as you've seen, and I didn't see any sparks, so I don't think we're getting sparks still. So we want to make sure when they're opening, there's actually a gap in there, which I can see right now, so I know those are opening, and I know they're closing because I've seen them close. We're going to bump it over till they close. We're going to flick it one more time, and if that don't get us our points working, we're probably going to have to swap them out. We're going to loosen that screw there, and I reckon we'll see what it takes to slide these points on out of here. Progress. progress. Second time I've assumed that's solid and just set my screwdriver there to work. The point slid up out of there. We'll loosen that screw, which should let our condenser slide on out. Now we need to get something to separate that. All right, loosen that, there we go. The only problem with this set of points is they're incomplete. It's very close, except we don't have our stud to be able to mount everything to. What the heck, over. Back to trying to fix our old ones, I guess. I'm gonna set my meter here to ohms. We're gonna check for continuity. What your points are doing is when they mount through that screw to your distributor, it's providing a ground. And then as that spins and it opens that and it breaks that ground, that's what makes the coil fire. So when that is closed like that, we should be able to go from the base right here to this stud and have continuity like we have right there actually. And then when that's open, it should break. By golly, if it's reading, these should work. Since I've got them out, I'm gonna give them the best cleaning I can give them. If we're reading continuity, they should be working. I'm gonna pop them back in. Don't let points whoop you, guys. These things can work no problem after sitting for a long time, and other times they can be super finicky. I've seen points let you get good spark out of your coil every single time they work so well, but they're not good enough to actually handle the load of an engine. And they'll leave you on the side of a interstate in downtown traffic, mainly off the exit of Fort Worth. And I'm referring to the story of Mortsky's wagon trying to drive down to Austin, Texas with us. Gotta set that gap once you mess her up. Heave. She's much easier to spin by hand now that she's cranked a little. The internet said 17 thousandths for a point gap. So just where we were opening that and flicking it and cleaning it, we're gonna put our filler gauge down in there. Then we'll tighten down our screw. And I did a bad job. When I pulled the filler gauge out of there, it closed some. So you gotta make sure the base is actually slid over where you're creating that gap. If you just shove that down in there and tighten it, that always mean you get it right. Tighten her down. Pull her gauge, there we go. That is pretty stinking good. So I checked continuity between that, and we had it with the points closed. Right now I've got a piece of cardboard in there to break continuity. Check this out. There's still continuity, so that ain't good. Or 2 wires for the connectors or whatever. I'm pretty sure I just put them up upside down, or put them on upside down, so they're touching the bottom. So I get to pull that off there to flip them wire connectors over and do it all again. Flip-flopped our wires. Gap is open right now, and we are reading no continuity. So maybe, just maybe, I finally got her whooped. So this time to test it, I'm actually gonna pull our coil wire off the cap, plug it back on, take it over to ground somewhere, and we'll check like that. That's right, baby. You didn't know Billy Barnes could get down? Oh, he can get down. Billy Barnes can get down, but finally having some stinking spark out of this thing. Now, I don't know if y'all seen or not, but that spark, from what I could tell on the GoPro, looked pretty darn good. You get hit or bit by that, it may knock your dinger in the dirt. This looks all right. Out here's a little dirty. We'll polish it real quick. Had a little steel wool on my toolbox from last week, so we'll just use that. Little polish job real quick. Little spit job. I don't know if you can see or not, but that looks much better. What's old Snugglebug doing over here? Just out snoring, cuddling with his dinosaur. Now there's a slot in your shaft. That's only gonna let you put that on there one way. Oh, see that? We're opening them points enough to zap you right there. Better be careful. Pop that back on. Coil wire back to the cap. And then our plug wires, I took out the clips over here. I'm actually gonna be very fancy on this one and put them back in their holders. Who am I? On our fuel pickup for the fuel pump, I pulled our clamp. We'll pull that hose off. She's nice and dry rotted. On the small chance that sending unit can still pick up that old nasty fuel in there, we won't be sucking it up here. And you know what? I never put our setup back together here, so let's check it for spark just since we're set up for it. Huh? I know you seen that spark. You can tell she's cranking slow though. It's like one spark. We got time to go to the grocery store, do a little grocery shopping, come on back, second spark. Let me see if I can't wrangle up some Get Her Done 91. We have some right there, but even better, we got some True Fuel. This is See It Through 92, but it also is gonna have Looby Dooby in it, which is great for this motor that ain't been raining forever. So, y'all seen us use this a long time ago. It's been a long time since we've done it, but I think she deserves a little extra. Y'all should already know if it's green, it's mean. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to spray out here and crank from in there, but maybe I can spray a little bit down in our bowls and we can get her to run long enough that I can make it out here. I think that's the vent hole over there. We got one right here. So we'll do a little spraying, we'll do a little praying. Hopefully this bad mom is about to bust off. She's a big engine, so we're gonna give her a decent spritz in here. Honestly, I expected those to be hot, just assuming it's struggling to crank. With spark, honestly, I figured she was just gonna go vroom, bust right off for us. You never know what you're gonna get. I jacked Big Betsy up so we could put our cheater switch on, and our starter is on this side, and it looks like our wire right there runs up. There is a relay up there, and I had a suspicion that relay may be for the starter solenoid, so we should just tried it. So let me set her back down, and we should get it where we can crank it underneath the hood. It'll probably make our life a lot easier. We should have done that about 2 hours ago. So we got a relay here that our wire's coming out of. So we got a yellow wire and a brown or black that kicks it in. So I'm just gonna try putting our cheater switch on right there. Could you imagine how easy getting spark back would have been if I would have done that? Eyes not's very smart. Turn our key on to get power to everything else. Verify power at our coil. It's doing a little good. She did a couple big bumps like she was gonna think about it. Yep, this ground is getting warm. Well, it acted a little more interesting and interested in going on the starting fluid, a little snort juice. You look in the back and what, and the bazooka tip exhaust circle we got going on here. You can tell we had some rust come out, and then one good po-po back here because it blew all the dust out of the way. You ever seen anything like that, Theodore? Yeah, I think we'd be doing a lot better if she was spinning better. Since our ground's getting hot, way more than the positive. I can't even feel the positive getting warm. I think we should probably throw a little bit better ground on it and see if that gets us cranking better at all. And we got this old used one, which is probably better than what we got on there. Yeah! Palm strike that sucker. Y'all don't think that thing's been hot a few times in its life, do ya? Just crinkling. That's crazy. Yeah. Let's see if she cranks any better. Maybe a little bit. That's definitely handling that cranking a lot better. What do we have going on here? I ain't seen no Bill over here in a while.
Had to bring you by.
Man, it is kind of nice in here.
I told you if you'd come in here, you'd start hanging out with me. Won't be able to get rid of him now. And hey, I'll get you a bed like Theo over there. Y'all can curl up and snuggle all day.
Well, I don't drink no more.
Is this an engine you approve of? A lot of times we show him an engine, he's like, nope. Nope.
No, Mopar's pretty good.
All right, if it's Bill.
Dude, all motors got their problem. I'm a fan of a big block Chevy, just small block. I'd prefer the 390 over a big block Chevy.
Dang.
Huh?
FE over? Yeah.
Well, this is such a good motor. How come it don't run? Probably the mechanic working on it.
Probably just a distributor.
That's your troubleshooting? You know, it's already the distributor. Watch him end up being like the gear on the bottom sloppy and it's the distributor. I'll be like, get the hell out of here, Bill.
It's like what your dad...
He just called it by walking in. He didn't ask, do you even got spark or anything out of it? It's just the distributor.
It's like when you were a kid, your dad, you'd be over there freaking pull starting something and he'd just go over there and just make it run. That's Bill.
Yeah.
Bill just makes it run.
Well, it's got a pretty good carb on it.
That's not thermal quad, is it? That's a
Changed it. It would have had a thermal quad on it. Thermal chunk. Plastic body right there. It warped real bad. It was a good idea because the plastic won't soak up heat, but it doesn't like heat. It would twist. It twist and then it leaked real bad at the top.
That don't sound like it's sparking at all. Damn distributor! Bill called it. Yeah, lick it, Bill. Go ahead, Slick.
Oh yeah.
Spark?
Yeah. Man, 440s, you mean son of a bitches. Dude, they make a lot of torque.
Can we tow a trailer house with this puppy?
You hadn't had the plugs out at all?
Nope. Let's see. She's dirty, but clean enough she should be sparking and running. She don't read good fuel economy from what I'm seeing, but
Yeah.
it should run off of that. Now that don't mean that the other 7 look exactly like that one. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's sparking. That's the thing. I already said it sparks, and then about 3 to 5 business days later, you get another spark. It just
Hey, let me put your finger in that hole.
That thing's like the United States Postal Service, and we need Amazon Prime. We need it quick. Spark, spark. That's got real good compressions. One other thing I thought of, and I pulled up on my cellular device, 184366572, and we're spinning bass backwards.
Right there.
Let's find number 1. All these plug wires are damn tucked up, hid behind your accessories. Is that it?
Yep.
All right, the one they marked red.
Red.
Right there, we've got number 1. They put a piece of red tape on there for us, which is mighty nice of them. 1-8. So right here should be number 8. 184. Number 3. Checked them all, and firing order is good. I was kind of hoping we had a swapped wire.
It's trying to start. It sparked. It don't seem like it's every time though. It's in there.
And the distributor.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do, obviously I've got enough parts we could just give this thing a full tune-up. I didn't want to do that. I want to replace what we have to replace to get her going. Of course, we could just throw a bunch of new stuff at it, and then we'd expect it to run. It ain't gonna let us know exactly what caused it to run though. We got really good continuity through this.
With a wire hook to it. 440's got a piston like a trash can.
The way his eyes lit up when he said the 440, he was like, ooh.
I built the main 440 at Bud's. And it was to beat the guy that worked at Bud's. His Camaro had a 396 in it. He was an Indian. He had a drag strip made on the reservation. People would come up from Phoenix to race him.
We're just dying back here.
The good old days.
He's Cherokee, he has a card, so he don't take offense.
Dan, get your drag strip, boy. What are you waiting for? He was getting sport. All right, let's play.
Don't even act like it's trying now.
She's trying.
So around here, when I went to swap out our battery, I noticed the connection on the terminal was pretty hot. She may have stripped.
Tight's tight.
Cranking better, but then that time it don't sound like it sparks. It's thinner than it was earlier. Earlier I got some big, thick, I guarantee you don't want to be touched by it. That looks like that little spark that Mortsky's car was leaving us on the side of the road that I was talking about earlier, where you think you're good because you keep seeing that, but she won't run off of it. The dreaded points, guys. I think the points are still what's getting us. With our screwdriver, you can just see how mean that spark is. But a minute ago, it was just the tiniest little spark hopping from that over to our compressor. La-di-da-da, la-di-da-da, just waiting on a set of points. Still waiting on them. It's driving me crazy. When I came back over here, Bill was playing with the old meter, and he said some of these plug wires, he didn't think were at any continuity. So I'm gonna set that meter to ohms, pop off number 2. Now this fluke is self-adjusting, so it actually starts off in kilo ohms, but then if it don't like what it sees, it'll swap to just ohms, so there ain't no K before that, so this is regular ohms. 998. I'm fairly certain that is weak for a plug wire. Next up, we'll check number 4. Well, she's bouncing from 1700 to 9,000. I actually just held that in position that read none. Just all over the place. Yeah. So that's our Lodestar. We got it running. Use the crappiest, oldest plug wires y'all have ever seen. Y'all heard it run and do donuts. That thing runs amazing. And yeah, these ones. But I am seeing here with the meter, they do not seem the happiest. You think just some 40,000 original mile ones would be pretty happy, but no sir. Not looking like it. Bill wasn't joking, because looky here, right here on number 6, I'm getting nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, I ain't having no luck doing the shaking, wiggling, and rattling. Number 6 plug wire is completely dead. Now, I know some of y'all are gonna just assume that that's our only problem, but I'm telling y'all, with the spark changing, those points are still 100% a problem, no doubt in my mind. We're just fighting multiple ignition problems here. Oh, inside they're super rusty. Terrible connection for that plug wire. Yep, number 8 is reading absolutely no resistance either. So we've seen enough of that to also know that our plug wires are gonna be a major problem. I'm gonna blame that on Bill just because those are so crunchy, pulling them off. That's when they probably broke and lost their resistance. Thanks, Bill. Here we go. That one yesterday, guys, it was to a point where I could barely see it. I can see that one. I promise you, our coil is firing cleaner and better. So as we wait, I'm actually gonna go ahead and just tune up the rest of the ignition stuff. I was wanting to get it going and then say, here's what it took. I'm telling you right now, a set of points, because we had no fire at first, and then the plug wires. I think everything else on it is gonna let it run. The spark plugs we've seen so far look good. The rotor looks fine, the cap looks fine. It looks can be deceiving. However, she's just trying to stumble. I'm sure it's the points and the plug wires. We are gonna give her a full tune-up though, as we have high hopes for this to be a very nice driver. So right here, we've got a rotor and a cap, and we got some Champion Copper Plus plugs that we're gonna go ahead and slap in Big Mama. I don't know if that's paint on that brass, but I was barely getting a reading through there, and I actually ran our board on there once to get that brass showing. Now it's reading a lot better, so watch that, because paint being over that is not going to help you send your spark through there. One other thing I've got to where I like to check before I put new ignition parts on is our little lugs in here. I like to just wiggle on them and make sure none of them are loose, because that tends to be happening nowadays too. And even though we're obviously going to swap these out, I'm just going to swap it all over where it's in proper place for now. And actually getting that pulled up out of there, it didn't look like super corroded, but it's super dark, like it was almost burnt across there. So where are my Mopar guys at? Are these old 440s and Chryslers and Dodges and Mopars or no cars? Are they hard on the ignition system? Because that's what I'm seeing. Them old Chevrolet would have just ran after you flicked the points twice. We would have drove her to Colorado and back. Pull our plug wires, and let's pull some spark plugs. Now a little carbon buildup. She looks pretty good though. Number 4, give me some more. Yep, that's the one that looks like she's burning a little better. She's a little more tan. Number 6. Maybe our cleanest one yet. Number 8. Don't look great. She's comparable to number 2 as far as being nice and dirty carbon buildup. Hopefully y'all can see those and how they're looking. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Big old booty mamas, that's who we appreciate. Ow, ow. Little dead fingernail that I smashed, she just got that exhaust manifold. She just ripped off about half of it. We got a gap, Oh boy. See if I can't get us bandaged up here a little bit. Cut her off too tight, that way the whole fingertip just comes off. Call me stubby. Number 1, Number 3 is wet as can be. Yeah, we got a little fuel on that one. Number 5 is nice and wet as well. Number 7 is probably about our cleanest one. Electrode's been in, but I just dropped it, so if I was a betting man, I did that. Also, it is a different manufacturer. AC, so AC Delco probably. And then these are all Champions. Since we have the spark plugs out of it, let's do a couple things. It gives us the opportune time to use the old borescope slider down in there. Let's see how pretty the insides of that 440 hopefully are. I can see looks pretty stinking nice in there. Lightest layer of carbon across the top of the piston. Number 2 looks really good. Same thing, look at number 4 right there. A little bit of carbon, nothing crazy. The little bit of cylinder wall I could see a second ago looked really nice too. So you can see the cylinder walls, everything looks pretty decent. By pretty decent, I mean about way better than most other junk we ever drag into here. Getting this darned old borescope started is about the hardest part of the job. I can't hit the hull, Captain. There we are. Good old number 8. Oh, we can see a little valve down there in the corner. I don't know if y'all can, but I can. I also look dirtier than the front two. Those are 2 cylinders that the plug wires are reading 0 on. So who knows, maybe those were problematic way before this thing ever got parked. Checking down our driver's side, 1 looked good, 3 looked good. Now we're on number 5, which is nice and wet. It's also like right at top dead center. So I'm gonna crank her down. There she goes. Just want to put some eyes on that cylinder wall. Looks nice and clean. This is one of the ones that is super wet. Number 7, and that valve I can see, and that valve's kind of rusty looking right there. One other thing we can do, and I like to do, because you just know what you got, is a compression test, especially since we're still waiting on our plug wires. That'll let us know exactly how this old 440 is feeling on the inside. Wide open throttle, and I'm trying to hold her open with our locking pliers. We already know if locking pliers don't fix it, you got baling wire, zip ties, and duct tape. If you can't get out of them four, you're in bad shape. That'll hold her open. Number 1, let's have some fun. She cranked slow, but once it hit that cylinder 4 times, it had bumped her up to over $1.50, and she just started to go more. That's good compression right there. $1.50. Number 3. That'll get you. Number 3. $1.30. Number 5, come alive. $1.50. Good old rusty valve number 7. Let's hope for 139 plus 11. Got about $1.20. $2. $1.20. Next. Uh-oh. We found the one that's giving our little galloping noise, I do believe. I can hear it now. And we only got about 40. Don't worry though. We get this baby to bust off on 7. That one's gonna free on up, just like the other rings. Everything's gonna end up around 150 in the end. 6 is gonna be much better to us. $1.45. $1.55, no problem. So what does that tell us? Number 4 being on 40, that tells us that was 6 and 8 plug wire being bad, 4 only on 40. That the only chance we had of anything on running on the passenger side was number 2. Can't believe this thing didn't want to bust off on 5 cylinders with a weak spark. One thing we can do is pour a little bit of oil down in number 4 and check it again. If it seals and compression goes up, we're gonna know that's on the rings. Well, pulling these 4 bolts is easy. Now wiggling that valve cover out of there is gonna be the hard part. Probably because I got another nut on the front, there at the bottom, and at the rear down on the bottom. It's crazy. Picks up off there so much easier when all the bolts are out. What a nightmare to get that out of there. And shocker, our valve cover gasket's no longer good. I'm sure they have a pair of them sitting on the shelf, no problem. Exhaust, intake, exhaust. I'll see if we can bump her around and if the intake ever gets wobble or if it keeps tension. Alright, right there it cycled, should be off. But it is off. I figured if one of them was hanging up, well, if it was hanging up that bad, we wouldn't build any compression. So it may just not be seating all the way. I mean, everything looks fine in there, what I'm seeing. So we probably just cost ourselves a day on putting that back together since we got them valve cover gaskets. That's smart. Spray stuff down with some Croil since we're in here. Get a little lubrication in the situation. Everything I'm seeing online says 35 thou on our gap. That baby's pre-gapped, dead nuts, 35 thou. We'll just check the gap because you always want to check them, guys. These things, they don't take much slamming around to close that gap up, and you don't want her closed up. I've been eating cupcakes, so I hope there ain't icing on my face. Getting these new spark plugs started are a little difficult. So a good little tip for that is take you a piece of vacuum hose or fuel hose, whatever can shove down on the spark plug good for you, where you can turn it back there and I kind of just guide it and you can spin it like that, because on this one it's hard to get your fingers in there on it. Get this side done. That was the easy part. Running the plug wires is up next, and on this side we got to finagle behind all that stuff. Woo! I'm so excited to do it. And pop number one off. Just goes down in the clip. Pull that, and what we got to figure out is where are we feeding through here, and what all are we clicking into, and where will my light set? Number one. All right. Goodness, guys, this is gonna be some wiggle worming. Oh, pops in the clip on the backside. Even better, we need to pop it out backwards. Ugh. Just pulled that through there. You can see how it's kind of been preformed, all the bends and stuff it's doing. Dig through our new ones, find one of the comparable length. That's it right there. Hopped over to this side to show you real quick how easy it is to do. I've already got 4, 6, and 8 popping on number 2. 6 and 8 we're going to tape over to the side, and we'll wrap them properly to our valve cover and everything once this is back on. Valve cover gaskets be here in the morning. Dang it. Dang it! Just kind of stabbing them on the screwdriver and wiggling in there about as far as I can get it is the game plan. Then when I come to this side, I can usually see what it was hitting on or getting stopped on, and we just gotta get her finagled through. Ta-da! Those wires, I was really impressed by the set on the lengths matching and everything. There was one thing that I was not impressed with. They came with straights instead of having danged old 90s to go into the spark plugs. Well, that's obviously a problem. They should be a 90, especially that rear one. That straight is hanging out and hitting our steering shaft. For now, we're gonna take it because we're slowly running out of luck and time this week because of this old Meemaw car. Set our valve cover down into place. Maybe it'll keep us from making a total mess. Oh, she's trying. She revved to life. We definitely had a little chatter out of the top end, but we ain't got no lube up there yet. So we're not too surprised. All right, now it's wanting to bust off kind of by itself. Again, you could hear the chatter. Before we just keep running that on start fluid, because I don't know. Oh, well, it says it has upper cylinder lubricant. So some people say running off this stuff ain't good for it, but maybe it's the old stuff. I don't know. I don't really use start fluid a whole lot. Switch back to our green stuff. Come on, baby. We got her! Yeah! Yeah! Go away, chatter! Go away! Come on, baby. Need you to quiet down. Come on, baby. Pick up some oil. Pick up some oil. Well, old thirsty girl drank through that bottle pretty quick. That's right. Break out the old celebratory pistols, guys. We finally got this little stinker to run. Something else we may want to look at is just seeing if we can get it run off the factory fuel pump. Now, I know our fuel tank's trash, so we don't want to even mess around with it right now until we can replace it. For now, I just want to put this little hose on there. We're just going to run that up here to the floor for now. First, you want to dump half your fuel on the floor there. You only want to get a little bit of it actually in the jug. It performs a lot better if you get the rest on the floor. Drop that down in there and see if we can get her to pick up some fuel. I'm going to crack our line here. So if we do get fuel, we'll see it start coming out. There she goes. We're getting some. Snug that back. She's idling on her own carburetor. She's still chattering. Go, baby, go. Now we're not gonna run her too much here. Kill her. Whoa, whoa, ho, ho. And see if she busts right off. Just purring like a kitten. Sounds like the chatter went away some. Maybe not as loud. So happy to hear that thing run. We're gonna put a little water in her. I don't know how much she's gonna need. I'd like to keep running it till that noisy valve train goes away. The only thing is that valve cover over there It is leaking a little oil out, so we're getting some oil up in that one, I know. And I don't want to just make a plumb mess all over this car. So I think we're gonna have to wait till in the morning till we get our valve cover gaskets to really run it a lot, which is okay. The goal for this car is really to have it a runner driver. So what I'm thinking is we can check the trans fluid, make sure there's some in there. Dang, that didn't even take quite a gallon to top her off for now. We'll check the trans, pick her up on the lift, fire her up, pull her into gear, make sure transmission's working for an indicator there. As long as it's acting like it's gonna work, then we'll move on to brakes, because if we're running, that shows us we're hopefully gonna be driving. Up next would be stopping. Oh yeah, she's a-going. Oh yeah. Transmission acts like it's working. That's good enough for me. Before we start toying with these brakes, which one was it? Number 4 was down on compression. $1.50 /$1.50. There's our after. And I can guarantee you some of these other ones, they're all gonna go up. Everything spins. Old bias plate still holding air. Can't believe it. That being said, she's on her last leg. We don't want to slap that around too much. All right, what's it gonna take to get this sucker off here? Step 1, pull the cover. We're gonna try to reach up in there and release some of our tension. Shaking like that, it's wobbling. So I'm just gonna pull our cap here. That cap was ready to come out of there. Yeah, just that little baby turn I just gave it, tightened that up. So we had a tiny amount of slack there, not a lot. Come on, baby. Come on. Walk off there for me. Walk off there for me. Ha! I see them Spider-Man hands. Don't try to mess with me. Too fast, baby. Too fast. I cannot believe we just pulled that drum off there on a car that's been sitting this long. And that's just as smooth as can be inside there. That thing's still perfectly fine. Hardware pretty well looks brand new, except for the little bit of brake dust that's in there. Shoes look perfectly fine. Main reason we're pulling this out is because when stuff sits over time, your rubber parts, well, it's hard for it to stay good. So even if we could bleed these brakes, if I was a betting man, our wheel cylinders ain't gonna last long before they start leaking. Brake hose kind of looks correct. Kind of looks small. Could be my eyeballs. Oh, brake line threaded right out. We didn't have to fight on it. Someone's been using the locking pliers on that nut side. Looks like some stuff I'd do. Hey, we're getting fluid even. Pull that clip, and then of course that'll pop out of there. And then I think we got to remove this side before we can get our wheel cylinder. That's why we're going after our line first. Come on, come on. Your mom's no good stripped out rear end. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, just broke my wrist, but don't worry about that. Now the real question is, with that out the way, can we actually get this one here? Get to our back one here, no problem. That's weird, and really smells like gas in here. There's a 1/2 inch that's willing to make a little sacrifice. Oh, she already has. We've already rounded that thing thin. I think it's gonna be too thick like that though. Let's put that baby on some Jenny Craig and thin it down a little bit. And that gets us on there. Pop loose. Yes, sir. All right. Gotta be careful because we'll get it to a point where it backs out so much we can't get the wrench off. So about right in there probably. Finished wrenching that out of there. Now we gotta wiggle worm this out of there. I keep walking through here and it smells like one of the pretzel places, like in the mall. That's what my shop smells like for some reason. I don't know who got pretzels and didn't invite me, but dang it, you're fired. Just gonna release that spring on that side. And yep, looky there. Plumb full of rust in there. Oh, that side too. Like I said, that rubber, it'll get you. Good news is, it does look like we have a match here. Alright, pull our new one into place. Tighten her back down. And that spring don't look too happy. Is she flip-flopped? Patoo! She shot out of there. That's better. Look how clean this grease is on here. It's like brand new grease. Next up, our brake hose. Don't forget your copper washer. So the rest of this looks pretty dang good. Inside there's not even that dirty. There we go. Where's my side cutters? There they is. Grab that. Pull down. Pull up. Bop it. Twist it. Pull it. Yeah. Let's give her a smack. We like that. Finished our front yesterday. This morning, then knocked out this side. I'm gonna let D&H know. I think we got a little leak in here on this axle seal. Even though the car's on the lift and we could easily pick it up, let me just cram myself in here. Ooh, chocolate milk, here it comes. Oh, a little pressure on it. Gave me a little pip pop. Also, I don't know if this is factory on this car, but look how they got rid of this extra line here. They just looped it and swooped it. Kind of like the setup. You got your brake line assembly, and it looks like the bolt or whatever holds that on there is also the vent. Just located all in one spot. Well, if you threw it in there, I sure would appreciate it. There we go. Cool thing about our back, it's obviously different than the front, because we got a big old skirt in our way. So maybe you can see right here, you got that little lever, and you pick it up, get off of that little nubby. Pull her down. Uh-oh. Is her latcher not unlatching? There we go. That one was just a little stuck in place. The other one fell right off. You just got these guide pins basically that line it up, and then that sucker just locks it down. I still can't get over just taking drums off, not fighting everything. We got our first brake line that's being a little problematic. Probably just got a little crud, so we're gonna hit her with some of that puddins.fab.shop cherry scented looby dooby. Not yet available. People can be like, where do I get it? Well, you gotta travel to the Tennessee mountains where we're cooking it. Just trying to twist that. Oh, that's what I was trying to do, but not that dramatic. Dang it. I don't think we're gonna be able to save it. It's already twisted more than I like. Save the best for last, they say. All right, well. Yeah, she broke. Just like the front, you pull them bolts and pop a spring loose, she'll come out. Look, that one's leaking brake fluid right there. And one difference I found so far on our replacements is these rears. The factory ones have a 5/16 bolt. These ones appear to only have a 1/4 20. So it's all right though. It still bolts right into place. The washers grab good, everything. So let's go slap her in. Good thing I thought that little setup was cool because I got to mess with it. I had to loosen that bolt some to pick that up. I could get the line wrench on there. Someone's mad at me because I just can't pet them all morning. I guess 15 minutes of petting ain't enough, huh? What do you mean you're not gonna talk to me? Theo, you don't mean that. Hate's a strong word. Ooh, bug. That's all he wants all day. Just let me put my head here. Just pet on me. Just a little bit will work, Dad. You only got to pet on. How long you gonna work today? 8 hours? If you pet me about 7, that's fine. 7 will work. Actually, I had to pry her open from the top. Oh boy, I got another one. They didn't want that sucker going nowhere. Just pop her open. And we're free. There's the old. There's the new. Looking for new tube nuts. I only found one. It's all right, because we still got original one over here. She's pretty well restored. Gonna do the best I can to just imitate it over here on the bench or table. Woo, just nailed that. When you're good, baby. Do my best guessing down through there. Cut her off. And we're gonna give her the little deburr. Well, dang it. My little cheap kit finally gave out on me. The pin that goes through here sheared. It's all right, we're not defeated yet. All we need is something to clamp it. Don't forget to put your tube nut on there. You'll be doing this whole process again. There's one side done. And 2 side done. We'll run this end down. See how I did here. Dang, Chrysler, y'all looking to hire me or what? I made 0 adjustments. I just took it out of that clamp and started it. and then tightened everything down. We're just working our way over. Still fitting absolutely beautiful. Tighten that in, and I'd say we nailed that. I'm gonna get this car looking good too. Same thing on our caps here. Just some hand scrubbing is gonna go a long way. Wet towel, scrub it, love it, shine it. Hey, we can read Chrysler again. So elbow grease, and that looks much better. Lock that skirt back on. I just got 3 others to do. Our valve covers finally came in, valve cover gasket I mean. So, let's see if we can't. That's kind of cool. She's got the little notches on her there. That way hopefully it'll help hold her into place if we can finagle that into there. Yes. Hey, you all right over there? Hacking up a lung? All of our hardware's reinstalled. We're gonna look at getting our little grommets on here. Luckily, I was able to get these off without it breaking. However, I think these plug wires are too thick for that to close on. So I'm gonna save our holders for D&H Classics. Maybe they can find a better set of plug wires that fit better. For now, it's kind of ghetto, but I just put us a little zip tie on there, okay? On each one, that's easy to change. If we had proper plug wires, we could install them proper, but apparently these ain't proper enough. Lube down our master cylinder. Now guys, I pumped the pedal and I have a feeling that that sucker would bleed for us. However, I showed you the inside of the wheel cylinders. There's a good chance that inside there it's looking the same way. So we may get it working for a little bit, but ultimately I think it would fail. So let's just go ahead and go with fresh brake parts, including the master cylinder. I don't think we gotta worry about getting any fluid out of there. Let it go. That's some good corrosion going on in there. That new one down in place, y'all see this nut here and how she has a flange? Well, 3 of them are like that, and 1 of them is not. So she may have had some brake work done. We already seen where the wheel cylinder, the brake lines went in, that those were kind of chewed up on. I'm now seeing this. I think she's maybe she needs a lot of brake maintenance stopping this big old lanyard. So I'm gonna take a regular nut here. I'm gonna hide it on the inside. Well, this is the details in a professional restoration. If something ain't right, you want to put it where someone can't find it. You better keep you a 1/2 inch wrench with you, because if you gotta get into your master cylinder on this sucker, you're gonna need it. I cannot find my bench bleeder stuff. Comes with these plugs and it tells you you better bench bleed it, but it don't give you a bench bleed kit. That is now drilling tapped for M10125 or whatever, because I have that adapter. I found this from one of the internationals. We are gonna try to get this rigged up. I had that fitting and we had that piece of scrap and this piece, so I cut her up, stole our nut from that copper piece because it was dirty. We don't want to introduce that to our brake system. Let's see if this will work for us. I'm gonna go pump on her real slow. Well, I think I just seen some bubbles disappearing, so that's good. Now, so instead of here, unless you got it just absolute turd and you don't care if brake fluid splashes all over everything, then you should just hop in here and give it hell. This brake pedal's wide enough for Shaquille O'Neal's foot. Y'all see that thing? Goodness. Come out here, put some eyeballs on her. That one's actually up out of our fluid, so that shows you how much of that fluid goes down and holds inside of there. Give her a few more pumps, and then obviously the fluid's moving, so we'll be ready to actually hook up our lines. Try not to make too big of a mess here. Using that plastic plug was a little redneck, but it worked. Two down. But our master cylinder good. I put our vacuum sucker to start flushing out the system. I'd like to flush it really good. Now sometimes a vacuum sucker is great, other times not so great. Right now it seems to be working, so I'm gonna let it pull plenty of clean fluid through here and we'll work our way around. Doing the rear now. I'm on the one furthest away on that side, and our fluid's steady dropping. That's a good sign. It's a good indicator that we don't really have leaks anywhere, because if you have a bad leak, your vacuum, you're just gonna pull air there. You won't pull full fluid through. So just like the front, I've let it drop a couple times now. I'm gonna let her go a couple more times. We're just gonna flush her out good and clean. Finished doing them, and since I had the lift picked up, I just took her a little further. We may want to check our fluid in here since we know she's been leaking. Well, she ain't too low. She is a little low. She's holding a little more than I expected. Here she goes. Gotta let her have some fresh stuff to drip out of there. My last question with it up here is gonna be about our cinder here. Is one, can we get it out of there? And then two, is it any good? Which I'm doubting it is, considering our darn tank rusted through. However, I got a new tank. I just have not been able to get a new cinder yet. Some turkey telling me that I ain't country, saying I ain't worth them dough. Take it, daddy bought. I can sing all them songs about Texas. Come on. As suspected, our cinder here is looking absolutely terrific. Got hardly any rust, flakes, chunks, or anything on it. Yeah, she's seen better days. Here I got some bad news and some good news. The bad news is our cinder was supposed to get in today, but due to some shipping issues, like always, it's not gonna make it here. I just got the word. So right here I got us some 5/16. I bent it up to kind of imitate our shape, because here's the good news. As you can see, we can get to the sender with the tank installed in the car. So if we can figure out a way just to rig up something good enough to to install that new tank, be able to pull fuel off of it, then in the future, the sender can be swapped out pretty stinking easy. You can't cut tubing with a grinder. Put us some marks in here, knowing that once we get through there, I need to face that up in line with that, and then that should kind of index the rest pretty close. That removes that. Little bare metal and all that. Good thing I put a lot of arrows, because I done wire wheeled off most of them. You know why it ain't wanting to weld? I mean, I don't know what that's made out of, but I tested a piece right there before I tried that, and it was obviously welding. You can't open that. Some of it welded. I've seen some of it bite good. That's good enough for what we're doing. Slap a little tack on our support. That'll help keep it from bouncing, rotating. Now, I know all this ain't perfectly burned in. There's probably a pinhole or two through there. That's okay. Again, we're not going for permanent. We're going for, let's get the new tank in there and get it running. And I think that right there could help us do it. Opened our new tank. Luckily, it came with a new gasket. And it's coated in petroleum jelly. I think we did pretty good on this thing. I'm trying to angle it down. It's hitting the bottom of the tank. The lock ring's a little small, but she's in. Dang it. Over here we got two lines that hook to the front of that tank, which I'm sure are just vents or whatever. I don't even think this thing has a return system. But our tank over here does not have it. Now, whenever I ordered the tank, they said, does it have the vent or not? And I said, well, I don't know. I'll look when I get home. And I went and looked, and I just assumed they were talking about a vent for like the fill, because sometimes next to the fill tube, you'll have that one that's about a 1/2 inch or so for a vent line there. And that's what I thought they were talking about. So I looked at the very back, and there's not one. So I said, I don't think we have a vent. But apparently, they're talking about those up there. So that one's on me. So I don't think we're gonna do the tank, because that's not the right tank. And if we put that in there, we won't be able to send it back. Right now, we can still return it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Today's Friday. It's gonna take a whole another 7 days to get the proper tank in. So I did not want to rig this no more than we had to, but unfortunately for our fuel system, I'm just gonna have to run us a hose across here, and this is gonna be our fuel tank just so we can get her mobile. I also rigged up our battery. Of course, proper application battery would fix that problem for us real quick. Starting to take that tank out made me think and realize we never looked in the trunk of this thing. With how this baby's been a time capsule, who knows? Oh, very nice the way she opened. Looks pretty boring though. I was hoping we were gonna have some real good stuff. It just looks brand new in here. Got a trunk light right here that's removable. How cool is that? Carpet's nice. New Yorker, huh? She's had her vinyl done before, and they left the emblems and stuff off. Now, if you wanted to put that back to factory, luckily, the other side, that stuff's in here. So that's not a bad little find. Obviously, we got the factory spares set up and all that. Probably got some instructions on how to do it all. I was hoping Meemaw hit her $1 million in here. And if she did, whenever we made it that part of the video was just gonna cut. We didn't find diddly. There ain't nothing in there. You were hoping there was something you could chase, huh? Got Hank the tank out here pumping brakes for me. Started working my way across the front. May have forgot to top off the master cylinder, and I ran it out. So we're just making sure she gets a good leg work out there. The front actually had quite a bit of air in them still, even though we pulled a good vacuum. That's why I like going to the classic old stomp and bleed method. You just can't beat it. Pump, pump, pump it up. Just start pumping it. I don't know if y'all can see that, but the brakes are already moving. A little bit of air on that one. And then we're basically going straight to fluid. I heard a little shoop, and that was it. Go ahead. I think we did good on our back ones. Our front ones we did all right on, till I filled them plumb full of air again. See that? Straight fluid. Trying to control it to stay on a rag there where we don't make too much of a mess. I think our rears are good. Good job, Hank. Couldn't have done it without you.
Well, of course.
And with the back good to go now, topped them off. We'll put our lid on, bolt her down. Ain't nobody getting in here. And a round of applause for Hank the tank. That feels real good. We're gonna see if she'll bust off for us again. And if so, we're gonna pull her into reverse and try to take her out of this shop. Idles up, or choke kicks in, where she idles up, give her a rev, she popped right back down to idle. Beautiful. Did y'all notice that the valve train quieted down a lot? Here we go! Yes, sir. Need some power steering. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Never mind. All right, are we squeaking or not? The steering just don't feel the greatest. The car itself rides real nice, and she's running. She's stopping. She's got enough power to spin the tires. The tires definitely have some flat spots from sitting. She's a little clanky going down the road. Let's give her a little gas. Give her a little gas, she'll come alive there. How's the brakes feel? It just sounds bad. It's like blum, 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 blum. And I know it's the tires. I hope it's the tires. There's the UPS man. Too bad he ain't got our fuel sender. Not that we got the right tank anyways. Why don't you stay right there and I'll swing on through. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, there's a Theo. He's like, let me move. Power stop. Dang right. She'll spin the tires a little bit. Now, I don't want to blow one of these because they're not in the best shape. And it ain't my car, so I don't want to be beating on it. What I wanted to see there is how's the carburetor and stuff handle with the actual load on it. And it seems to be handling it. She goes between the gears nice. I will say it don't actually ride as smooth as I thought it was going to. It ain't bad. I just wanted a full cloud experience with no excuses, okay? When I come in kind of fast and smack that dirt, I felt it. If it was a dang old Cadillac, you wouldn't have felt it, all right? You would have heard it laughing. Like, good try on trying to trick me. Grab a new battery. Motor sounds good. Nice and quiet now. Some of our smoke you're seeing is the oil that come out on that side, burning off the exhaust. Like I said, I'd splashed a little bit of brake fluid on this side, so I'm sure that was smoking some. Our water pump's leaking. I knew I seen some water splashing, and I can see the top of it is wet, so we're definitely leaking a little there. Woo! Big Mama 440 ready to burn tires, baby. Do see we're leaking something over there though. Yeah, she's finally empty. Something on her's leaking good. I don't know if it's that, but you can see here just where we drove up, she made a mess. I actually noticed we got a leak over here going on, but it ain't steady streaming the way it was. So I don't know, she's definitely got a couple leaks on her. Check that thing out, Theo. She's a runner driver. She needs a couple things. I think at this point, the main thing she needs is cleaned up real good. Short few days ago, we shoved her off the trailer. Just now, we drove her up there under our own power. Yeah. I think I know why she has a 440 in her, because the 6 liters just screaming to tow this tank. If it had any motor in it smaller, that car wouldn't be able to drive its big body self. Damn 12-ton car back there. If I'm being honest, I almost want to put the barn dust back on her. One, yesterday I noticed there's old pinstripe that used to go down this, that some of it's there, some of it's not. But look at all the little nicks in the paint on this side. It's got a lot more little scratches. The camera don't do justice on, there we go. Now you can see them all. You go down through there. Still a good car, just a lot of that was hid with that old dust on it. Now the foam brush can scratch up paint, but like that's a strip of duct tape right there. And all the little scratches, old pinstripe, someone's gonna want this paint nice. It's gonna need to be buffed out. Hey, how y'all doing over there upside down? That old chrome front end really likes the foam brush. Little manual scrubbing on it. That baby is shining. Hey there, pretty mama. Now, that reveal would have been much cooler if we were driving her ourselves, not on a trailer. But look at her shining, guys. Oh yeah, she may have little nicks and knacks and a tic-tac, a spot of rust here or there. But guys, you know what's beautiful about this car? How good a shape it is. And you could just drive it and not feel bad. What are you gonna do? If you put a little scratch on it or a chip, you're gonna go home and cry? No. If this was my car, I'd spend a little more time trying to get stuff like that old duct tape off there. We'd definitely have to buff on it, which I think would take off like that, just scrubbing even more. Look, it's already cleaned some of that up off there. She needs more elbow grease. We ain't got the time to give it to her. But take some steel wool, do the old steel wool on the bumper trick, really clean that sucker up. I mean, look what I'm getting right there just with polishing on with my thumb. I would go around and just full detail this baby out. I think she's happy to be out of that old shop. I actually brought her back to the old shop. I mean, it's right down the road. There's our car wash right there. If you make it by our water tower, you're by everything in Tecumseh, Oklahoma. You can also get a picture from up here. Don't worry, old girl. You're not going back in there. I notice we're smoking pretty good. Hopefully y'all can see how cool and how good this thing looks going down the road. She's definitely stopping a little better. The drums may need to adjust it a little bit, or the brakes I mean. Steering, she's still a little low, but I've noticed, oh yeah, those brakes ain't pulling you left or right. That's good. Plenty of power. I just kind of ripped on her there. Maybe y'all heard it spin. Oh yeah, yeah, she wants to go. We've got a decent leak, and I'm thinking it's oil. Sucker looks haunted. Y'all see the smoke just rolling off of her? We're a smoker out in here. Got the danged old Cheech and Chong mobile. Oh, we got a pinhole in our radiator. Of course, we could guess that was there by that corrosion that was on there. That thing's just spraying. Of course, we already know she needs a water pump that's leaking. She's got all the leaks. Are we pushing smoke out of the insulation? Well, she sure looks sloppy down there on the transmission. I know the thermostat opened up because it mixed with some green stuff. Well, is it coming from the valve cover, or is it just coming from the back? And how long has it been doing this since this whole thing's dirty and has been dirty? And it looked like it shoved out of it either, so I don't know. Almost has to be the valve cover. She seems like she's gonna be a pretty good car, but obviously she's got a few leaks. Now that's where we made her in 3 days with having kind of a hard time getting parts because we didn't really know exactly what all we were gonna get into. But that old 440, she sounds pretty happy. Seems to run pretty good. The carburetor, we didn't even end up touching. Fuel tank's the incorrect one. Once the correct one is ordered, obviously it's a pretty easy swap out, it seems. Couple hoses, straps are easy to get to, nothing's rusted out, so that shouldn't be a problem. I made a list for D&H because, like I said, this is not my car. I was curious to see if it would run and drive, and we got her there, I'd say 2/3. We didn't know the water pump was bad. We didn't know the radiator was bad. Both of them are now leaking. We didn't expect the gearbox to be leaking, but it is. She needs a proper battery. What else? The driver rear axle seal, when I did the brakes on that side, I seen a tiny couple drips in there, and you could tell I'd been doing it for a long time. It was kind of caked in there. Not a lot, just a little bit. So I'd probably do that if I was gonna keep it for myself. And then the pinion angle is leaking pretty good. And then you may have to take another crack at the valve cover gaskets and the plug wires. I'll try to do a little online research, find a proper set that we could get into all the factory holders. Now, if it was mine much past that, we'd probably entertain buffing out the paint. Like I said, slick on some new tires, try to get air conditioning working. With all them windows down where you're cruising that hard top, this car just looks cool. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the old barn find. I know old Billy Barnes enjoyed finding it. Who knows what old Billy Barnes would think of it now. Whew. Old Billy Barnes would say that thing's cooler than the other side of your pillow. Whew. Billy Barnes would say that thing's cooler than a penguin butt in an ass dragging contest. Whew. Billy Barnes would say that thing's cooler than Theo's belly after laying on this concrete all day. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for all the support throughout the years. It means the world to me and my family. puddins.fab.shop for that good quality merchandise. We ain't really released anything recently, so we're pretty low on stock on everything, but still thank you. Check out my second channel for a bunch of good other content on there. Always what's going on behind the scenes. And we do some Will It Run style stuff on there too. It's not just all talking or whatever. But other than that, I'm on the Patreon, I'm on the Instagrammer, I'm on the Facebooker, and I will see you guys next time. However, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project. What would old Billy Barnes do?